Okay, we're doing exercise 11D from the first year mechanics textbook, and we're looking at question 6. So I am given the velocity in terms of time, and then I'm told when t is 0, p is on a point O on the line. So I'll take that to mean the origin, and then I'm asked for the distance from O. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, there's two main things I need to do for this question. One is going to be integrate, because I've got velocity and they're talking about distance. The other thing I'm going to need to do is they're talking about find the distance when v is 0. So I will need to solve this equal to 0. So I'll do the integrating first, because that's probably what stands out immediately in this question. So the displacement is going to be the integral of the velocity. Okay, so displacement, so 12 is going to integrate to 12t, t is going to integrate to t squared over 2, t squared is going to integrate to t cubed, and then when I divide by 3, it'll just 6 divided by 3 will give me 2, and then don't forget plus c. Then if I go back to the question, when t is 0, p is at the point O, and I'm wanting the distance from O. So if we're talking in terms of the distance from the origin, that's basically telling me that when t is 0, s is 0. So it is going to work out that c is 0, but still show that you've actually acknowledged that. So when s is 0, 12 times 0 is 0, 0 squared over 2 is 0, 2 times 0 cubed is 0. So c is 0, but make sure you don't just realize that and not actually write it down. So you will still need to refer to that in your working. Okay, but I've got my expression for displacement, so 12t, my equation for displacement, I should say. Okay, so that's now I've confirmed that c is 0. That's the full equation. And they want the distance of p from O when v is 0. So that's not when t is 0, so I need to go, and I could have done this at the very start, so I need to go back to the equation they gave me for v and find when the velocity is 0. So 12, so when does that equal 0? So I could just stick this straight into my calculator. I'm going to multiply through by minus 1 just to make it a little bit easier to factorize, and I'm going to go for it's going to have to be 2t and t, and 6. What am I on about? Not 2t and t. I wondered why that wasn't working. 2t and 3t. Right, that's a bit more like it. And then it's going to be 3 and 4, and I want minus t, so I want minus 9t plus 8t, right. So a bit of a brain freeze there. So that gives me 2 values for t, and obviously one of them is not valid in the context of this question, because t can't be a negative, and that's good because the question didn't seem to refer to 2 possible answers. It just said find the distance of p from the origin when the velocity is 0. So that's quite good that we've only ended up with 1 possible value of t. So now I'm going to go back to my equation for the displacement, and I'm going to substitute t is 3 over 2 into that. So 12 times 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2 all squared over 2 minus 2 times 3 over 2 cubed. Stick that into my calculator. Okay, and I get that to be 12.375, so 12.4 to 3 significant figures. Just double check that. Yep, okay, so they haven't rounded, but the standard, if you haven't used G is 9.8, which obviously is not relevant for this question, the standard for mechanics is to round to 3 significant figures.